Welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon. Guys and girls, I am a retired New York City police detective with 20 plus years of law enforcement. If you like all things true crime related from the police perspective, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you'll get all things DutyRon. And you know Ed Wallace, when he's around, he'll be live and when we upload any videos. Tonight, we're going to talk to you about Rounds and Aidan Clune. These are two cases of 19-year-old missing young men in the same kind of similar area and terrain. In that area is just desolate desert. And we're going to talk about it tonight with Twila Sisco. She is the search coordinator for EquuSearch Midwest. But before we get into talking about these two boys' cases and the searching that was being conducted by EquuSearch, we're going to talk quickly and say thank you to all the Patreon supporters, the channel members, and all of the folks who positively engage in this community. You guys are what makes this a great place, and I give thanks and praise to you, the viewers, the subscribers, the friends, the community members, the people who engage here on Crime Time with DutyRon. Without you guys engaging, we got nothing. So I want to say thank you. I always have to give thanks and praise to my viewers, the great folks who are out there talking with us and communicating back and forth. I want to also say thank you to the replay viewers and the moderators. The moderators have a tough job because they don't get paid for it. They just do it, and they do it from their hearts. So thank you to all the great mods that we have out there. You guys are freaking amazing. Some of the best on YouTube. So thank you so much for that. Let's just jump right into it. You know, Aidan Clune. He went missing on April 26th, technically the 27th at 6:23 a.m. He checked out of that hotel room and he's gone missing. His mom has been all over the internet and on different various news outlets talking about her son. And, you know, it's heart-wrenching. It's heartbreaking when you see and hear a parent that gives a plea for the return of her son or her son to come home. And in this case, with Aidan Clune, you are talking about a young man who is suffering from depression and different psychological issues. And it's a fact. It's a known fact. He was struggling with mental health issues. And that's a big battle that we have going on in across the United States and also across the world. Mental health affects so many people. And during the part of COVID, when we were in that lockdown, all of the children and young men and women becoming, you know, young men and women, they were isolated, kept at home. Some of the best years of their lives, you're talking about communicating by computer. You know, so for high schoolers that are graduating high school and things of that nature, it was tough for everybody. So again, this is a difficult one to talk about because I think it's well documented that he has struggled with different varying levels of mental health, and that's what makes it even more heart-wrenching because the mom, you know, just wants her son back. She just wants her son to come home. And that's just heartbreaking. But listen, before I get into all of this stuff, I want to bring in Twila Sisco. She's the search coordinator for EquuSearch Midwest. She's been kind enough to grant us with her presence. She is helping in both of these cases. But we're going to talk first about Aidan Clune and that case. So we're going to go into that quickly here. Twila, thank you so much for joining. How are you this evening? It's always a pleasure to see you, Twila.
Great. It's always a pleasure to see you, DutyRon.
Thank you. Thank you. And I want to say thank you to Twila's daughter. She set her up with this computer in the setting here. We were outside and she was talking about holding on to her phone. And I said, Twila, that's hogwash. You can't do that. So she got a hold of her daughter, who's awesome. She's aces. So thank you to her for setting Twila up. Thank you. Thank you, dear. Thank you. Twila's daughter. Twila, let's get right into it. Talk to me a little bit about what you can. I know there's certain things that you can't discuss, but you refer to her as Miss Clune, but Dylan's mom is Aidan's mom is Amy Clune. Just can you tell the audience just a little bit about the involvement of your team and what you got going on there?
So there was a lieutenant that I was working with on Dylan's case that actually called our main office and requested that I help him with the Aidan's case. And these two cases is like cases that I've never had experience with, because there's so much area out there. It's crazy. So EquuSearch has been involved with both cases, and now with Aidan, we're going to put some drones up in the air. Some really good pilots are going to go out there and fly. The lieutenant that's over this case in Nevada, I believe, that's working this case, he's amazing. I mean, he set it all up for me to where all I had to do was look at a map, talk to a drone pilot, tell this drone pilot exactly where he needs to go. But it's like 60 to 100 acres that needs to be flown out there to see if we could possibly try to find this kid. And it's sad because he's 19, he's young, he's the age of one of my sons.
Right.
And it just makes you wonder, like, the mental stuff, like you were saying, COVID messed us up as well as all these young children that we have. And then they were, quarantined and stuck inside. And then now that they're out there, all this mental health stuff, it's a sad situation, but I'm going to do whatever I can possibly to help both of them. And I hope that we can get answers for both of them. And, these boys are the same age as my son, like I said, and I think about them daily. I think, what can I possibly do to actually put my feet on the ground out there? But I think they have some of the best with law enforcement out there, working with them hand in hand and doing everything that they possibly can. I spoke to a lieutenant the other day, and it was on a weekend, and he had just got back from camping and was right back in the saddle with working things for Aidan's case, that so that we can go out there with some pilots and get this flown so that we can run the images through locate. And I spoke with Aidan's mom briefly, and then we lost service, and just to hear the pain from her voice and from Dylan's mom's voice, it's just hard, I'll tell you that much. But the area out there is like area that I've never seen before. You can put in your GPS one location that you're going to that says it's 6 miles, but it literally takes you 30 minutes to travel that 6 miles. I've never seen nothing like it in my life.
And this is again, you're talking about Box Elder, right? The lieutenant from Box Elder County Sheriff's Department. The terrain is similar as to the terrain, obviously, that we saw in the Dylan Rounds case, right? It's it's not farming. It's kind of like mountainous with a whole bunch of desert and a little mix in between. But this kid was not from that area. He drove from California. And went in and crossed into Utah. So this makes it kind of odd and off-putting that this young man would go from Sonoma, I believe they lived in Sonoma County, which is a beautiful part of California, I believe, and went into this desolate area to be, I guess, by himself. He was. I heard and saw some of the interviews that he was speaking erratically and talking about people following him and things of that nature, talking with the grandparents. They were going to set him up with a trailer and get him, like, this was a family that was struggling to help kind of like headed off at the past, this mental health issue that he was struggling with, and what parents don't have children that go through scratchy and kind of bad areas of their lives, and when you just try to guide them along and help them, and that's what makes this sad. So I wanted to play a quick clip, if you don't mind, Twila. Quickly, it's this is kind of old. It was a candlelight vigil that they did, but the reason I want to play this for Aidan is because there was a lot of community people out in Sonoma that were talking about what a good kid he was and how he helped out at his job. And one of the workers said to Aidan's mom, she said to Amy, "You should be proud of your son. He's a good boy. He's a good young man. He's really helping here. He's helping people." So I want to play this so people can hear this. I got to cue it up, but I know that you had many conversations with the mom, like you said, you got cut off and things of that nature, but you still have this kind of bond thing that you got going on when you're talking about parent to parent. And all that EquuSearch wants to do is find the missing, like Lost is Not Alone, right?
Right.
That's what, that's what you guys got going on between the two of you. And I thought it was important for us to talk about it. And I have her number. I'm going to reach out to her and try to, further try to give her some type of lead and help, with dealing with law enforcement and things of that nature. But there's just limited things that we can do, and locate is a great, great thing. But I want to just play this piece real quick. I got to cue it up. Of course, I wasn't prepared for all this. You know me, Mr.
His mom messaged me the other day. It was later in the evening. I think I was eating dinner or something, and she was asking me some questions of, when we were going to take the drone out there to fly it. And at the end of her message, she said, "Please help me find Aidan." And I'm telling you, it broke my heart, and it's so sad. And when I reply back to the messages, I put in there, "Lost is not alone." And I let these families know that I'm not going to give up. There is a process, of course, that we have to go through to get the things done that we need to do in order to get it successfully done. But I feel bad for the both of them.
Oh,
Both these boys were trying to do good in life, and it's just like they disappeared off the face of the earth. Like, where could they be? But EquuSearch is not going to give up. I won't give up. I'm still here. And like I said, that lieutenant, he's been great through this whole process
well,
on both cases.
that's encouraging, and that's great to know that EquuSearch is going to be there, every step of the way, trying to help out no matter how they can. So let's play this little piece. I'm gonna add this to the screen. Again, this is old footage, but there's not much new stuff. But I want you guys to get a feel for what some of his friends and some of the people spoke about Aidan. By all accounts, he seemed like a really great young man. So let's play this quick for the folks.
Disappearance. And tonight, his family, friends, and teachers came together for the first time to hold a vigil. The 19-year-old was tracked in the Nevada wilderness but has not been seen since. KTV's Alyssa Harrington was at the vigil and has a report.
Aidan! Aidan! Friends, former classmates, and family members shouted the name of Aidan Clune, a 19-year-old from Sonoma who has been missing more than 2 weeks. They gathered for a candlelight vigil to pray for his safe return.
He was one of the most intelligent, caring people I've ever met.
We hold him in our hearts right now as we go through this.
Lenny Paracchini organized the event. He's a teacher at Sonoma Valley High School, and Aidan was his student before he graduated last year. He called Aidan bright and creative and felt it was important for everyone impacted by his disappearance to come together.
We have been privately grieving and having sadness, and haven't had the opportunity to come together to support each other and show our love.
Aidan was last seen more than 500 miles away in Elko County and may have been in the area of Wells, Nevada. His vehicle was found abandoned on the side of the highway. The 2007 Nissan Frontier was discovered the morning of April 28th. Investigators believe Aidan walked into the wilderness. An aerial search tracked his footprints for 10 miles.
All of us who know Aidan have been devastated by the circumstances that he's in right now.
Former classmates say Aidan was a great friend and they hope to see him again soon. Sophia Strand has known him since preschool. She said he was her first boyfriend.
He was my first boyfriend. Yeah, he was just really sweet, like the perfect first boyfriend someone could have. He was just so smart. I'm very glad that everyone had the opportunity to get together tonight to just send good energy into the earth. It's horrible, and there's not honestly much else to say.
So there you have it. Let me just pause this. Twila, you got to hear from his friends, his teacher, his former teacher. And, everything that you got from that is that he was a fine young man, and he definitely had some struggles that were, coming on strongly, and his mom recognized it. She even reached out to his psychologist or therapist and asked to continue, for him to see him more or to try to do something. And she was told, listen, we we can't talk to you because of the HIPAA laws, and we can't. If he has issues, he has to come to us. So there was cries for help, and she tried to reach out and get her son help, like any good mom would do. I mean, you wouldn't wish this onto your worst enemy. This is a difficult situation at best for the Clune family. And Dylan's mom, the Rounds family, they're in communication, I believe, at one point or another, and they, people were correlating these two cases and lumping them in together, and they're completely separate and complete separate issues, as we know. But a lot of people were saying 2 19-year-old boys in that same area, there's someone out there that murdered both of them, and it might be the same person. And we know that not to be true now that time has gone on. It's his situation, Aidan's. Definitely, it was something that he wanted to do because of maybe a chemical imbalance, and he wasn't right at the time. But it's sad that a state trooper did see his car and ticketed his vehicle, and not more was done there because there was a miscommunication between the two authorities. So it makes it tough. It makes it tough, Twila. And I know you're going to do everything that you can for the Clune family, and whatever assistance EquuSearch can give. Now, I've been speaking with Dave Rader on this, and Dave is going through a tough time with with his the issues going on with his friend's dad going sick and whatnot. So it's been difficult for Dave as well, and he was going to come live with us tonight, but he had to go and go up to the skilled care facility where her father is and stay up there with him. And it was, I understood it 100%, but it was always great to have the communication that I have with you, Twila. I think that what you guys do is an invaluable service that is so needed, and we need 100 more chapters of EquuSearch to help people, because you guys are you're human beings. You're not machines. You can't help everybody. You want to talk about how you guys juggle that and how difficult that is and how it plays on your minds that you can't help everybody?
It's hard. And between me and Dave and Linda and Marcy and a few others, as a matter of fact, earlier today is Sunday, my mom came to visit, and I had got a case from Dave that came in from Texas, and it's crazy because I try to handle anything in the South. Dave will handle anything in the North, but at the same time, we work together. If it's something out here, like the week that my grandmother passed away and I had stuff going on in my life, Dave picked up the slack. And, Dave's had a lot going on at home also, like you said. So me and another girl would pick up the slack, but it's hard. And we try our best not to say no. And it's just hard because when you do this, me, the person I am, I do it and I think of these families as if they're my family. The moment I make contact with them and I hear their voice, it's like they're my family now. So whoever that missing person is, a part of that family, it's like they're my family. And I put in my head, oh my gosh, I've got to get out there and find my family member. And it's so DutyRon, the mental illness part it's like full blown now, and these cases are coming from everywhere over these younger people that have mental health issues, or they've changed medications. And with the HIPAA laws, even when my son's 19 and my other one's 18, they go to the doctor. I can't even call over there and get information anymore. So it's like everything's a big old secret. And then all of a sudden your child goes missing. What do? And then you reach out to these teams that's just so overloaded with these cases from all around the world. But I'm grateful for Dave. I'm grateful for Linda, and I'm grateful for our teammates, because if it wasn't for all of us working together, none of EquuSearch would be able to do what we do. And I'm very grateful for Dave, because he gives us any information that Dave gets. He gives it to us so that we're in the know, and it's in our mind. This is what we got, and we're not curious of what is this and what is that. But it's hard. We don't tell families no. It's up to law enforcement to give us permission to come in. but we treat these families like they're our family, and we do whatever we possibly can to help them, you know, whether it's talking in the middle of the night or texting or anything like that. I tell them, once I make contact, this is my personal phone number, and I don't care what I'm doing. You call me, you text me. If you feel like you just need to cry, you call me. And that stuff happens. There's people that still call me of cases that I worked 2 years ago. There's families that still reach out to me and just say, I just need somebody to listen to me for a minute. And I'll just sit there and listen. And at the end of every phone call, I tell them, I love y'all. And just remember, Lost is not alone, because we're here for you. Even after we finish a case, we're still here for these families because they're our family.
Yeah, and I know that to be true because I have actually seen and heard Twila on phone calls with family. She puts her heart and soul into it. She puts everything that she has into it, and that's what makes Twila an unbelievably amazing asset to EquuSearch and just to these families. You know, you get in close and personal with them, and like you said, the conversations continue on even years after the cases are either not over or not solved or whatever the case may be. That means a lot to these people. And Twila, you might not realize how much good you do by offering that support. And I remember you talking with me about Summer Wells' case and how her mom would reach out to you, and you know, you were trying to uplift her and trying to get her focused. And you know, your mission is not to solve these cases and get people arrested. Your mission is to bring the lost home, right? And that is a difficult thing to do when you, especially when you have such cases that are so intertwined and you never know who's involved or who's, you know, who's the good guy, who's the good girl, who's the bad guy, who's the bad girl. You just put that all aside and you say, hey, it's not about that, it's about this, the person that's missing.
It's not up to me to judge, you know. And I have kids. I don't want my kids looking at me like, oh my gosh, mom, why are you judging this person? Why are you judging that person? I mean, I could sit and look at a murderer in their face and have a conversation with them and not judge them and just keep my thoughts and opinions to myself, because my goal is to help that family find that missing loved one. Because I know if one of my children went missing or anybody in my family went missing, I would want the whole world out there to try to help me. And I can't just like, that's just something my heart feels that I have to do, is be there for these families. And I feel like EquuSearch was my true calling, because I've always wanted to, you know, run or work in a funeral home. And all my friends will tell you. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because what better way in life should you live than, one, treating people the way you want to be treated, and two, helping somebody, a family especially, in their worst times. And I mean, I can't even imagine my kids or somebody in my family going missing. I couldn't picture it at all. And you know, there is a situation where I have a friend that went missing, and at one time we were at a gathering and my mom went missing, like right in front of our eyes. She had mentally had a breakdown and she went missing, and I thought I was going to pass out right then and there and not wake up ever again, but it worked out to where we found her. But we're here for anybody. I'm here for anybody, even whether it's mental illness. If you just need somebody to talk to, I don't care if it's about how green your grass is. You can reach out to me anytime and I'll sit and listen to you, because that's what I feel like my heart is here for. And that's what I feel like I was put on this earth to do, is help others and do it the best I can.
Well, you do a damn good job of it, Twila. And I got to tell you, you know, there's been many times where you and I have had conversations where things are not going right in both of our lives, or just with cases and things like falling apart. And I think we both have lifted each other up in many different ways, just through words and conversation. So that's what makes this a great thing, is that we're all human beings. We all hurt. We all have feelings. But at the end of the day, you know, when things have to get done, you drop it. You drop everything, including, you know, family duties, and you go out and you search for these missings. And I've seen you do it, and that's what, you know, makes this amazing. I want to talk quickly.
And DutyRon, you know what? I want to thank you and all of the DutyRon family, because you know the stuff that I've been going through that no parent would ever want to go through. And then my grandmother passing right after that. And you called me, and you were one of the very few that I talked to on the phone during that time, even during this process. And I tell you, every single time when you call me, I don't know what it is about you, but when you call me, you change my whole mood. We laugh, even if it's about something bad. You always got my back. And the DutyRon family. I was on one night listening to you and Ed on there, and I think Dave was on there too. And I was just sitting there crying because of all the love and the support from this channel right here. I don't know how it is you do what you do, but I could be in the worst mood or crying or whatever, and you bring the best out in me.
Well, that is it's an honor to hear that from you. But at the same time, Twila, you know what? We do it together. It takes two to tango, right? So you
Right.
can't have that mojo going on without two people in the same group. So you're equally as responsible, but having this community here with Crime Time with DutyRon, we built it together. You're a part of it. Everybody along the way has little parts in it, and it's important that we all get that understanding and really get a grasp of how much good it does. And look, Twila's here telling us that she's listened to us when she was having a difficult time, and it lifted her up. So think about how many other people, the millions, the thousands of people who will watch replays of this in the years to come, and it will help people all along the way. So it's a good thing. And yeah, definitely love it. I want to go to the chat. DP Infomiss says, I love this crowd. Yeah, I love them too. Twila, Lorna McKenzie, Lorna says, Twila, you make us feel good. How about that? How about that? Tennessee girl.
Y'all make me feel good.
Tennessee girl, right over at East Tennessee, where Summer Wells, she's ground zero there. She said, DutyRon is the best. And so is Twila and this whole community. Thank you for that, Tennessee girl. Much love to you. Amanda Page says, Twila, hugs and prayers for you always.
Thank you so much.
I can highlight these all night long. Cat Lover 33 says, we love you, Twila. Joyce says, Twila is an angel on earth. You know what?
They're so sweet. They're giving me too much credit. I'm telling you.
I tend to agree with these comments, Twila. Let's talk just a little bit about Dylan Rounds before we wrap it up. But I wanted to show Unsolved Mysteries is a YouTube channel. I don't know much about him, but he did some coverage on Aidan Clune. I thought it was miraculous the way he put it together. I think what he did was clear and concise. I'm not sure if it's 100% accurate, but he puts together a 6 or 7 minute video that I don't do this often, but I'm going to link his channel down below in the description. This guy put together, I thought, a pretty good synopsis of the Aidan Clune disappearance and missing. I want to play that, and then I want to talk to you about your conversations with Candace, if you don't mind. And I know you can't go into the inner workings and the details, Twila, but after we play this little piece from Unsolved Mysteries, a YouTube channel, I'm going to come back and then we'll wrap it up. But I want you to talk to everybody about your conversations or your communication, not the intimate conversation, but the communication with Dylan Rounds' mom. So let's play this little piece. I thought that this was well put together, and kudos to this YouTube channel. I'll link it down below, but let's play it.
Today, we explore another disappearance of a 19-year-old Aidan Clune from Sonoma, California. The similarities between the disappearances of Aidan Clune and Dylan Rounds are enough to make one raise an eyebrow. An innocent teenager with no criminal record seems to just disappear in the middle of his road trip. While it is unlikely the two cases are related, there is a shock factor behind the fact that the two disappearances occurred just a month apart and less than 90 miles away from each other. As Aidan's mother describes the days before his disappearance, it becomes obvious that something is very wrong.
Aidan was fine before he went to Washington. And then when he got back, he started taking circumstances and turning them into these more nefarious situations in his mind. So then I actually called his doctor and I said, Aidan, there's something wrong. Please call him in. Please do something. He's not okay. You need to help him. And they said the same thing. If he doesn't come in for help on his own, we can't do anything. So I finally got in contact with some nonprofit things I was calling everywhere in Santa Rosa. I finally found this one with a sliding scale and a really nice guy. I said, Aidan, will you please go into counseling? I found this guy for you. We can do it. It's not a problem. And he said yes. And then he was sitting on his phone, and suddenly this very alarmed look came over his face. And he said, Mom, I got to go stay somewhere else for a few days. I got to go.
Aidan immediately began packing a bag, got in his truck, and left. Unfortunately for Amy, Aidan's mother, she had no idea that this would be the last time she saw her son. As Aidan attempted to relocate to an environment where he felt safe, he wound up sleeping in his truck outside of a park.
And then sometime around mid-morning, he finally called me and he says, I haven't heard from you. I said, Aidan, you blocked me. He's like, oh, okay. I said, Aidan, are you coming home now? And where did you stay last night? He said, I stayed in my truck across from this park. And I was like, why did you do that? And he said, I just decided, I feel like everybody's kicking me out of Sonoma. And I said, what are you talking about? I'm not kicking you out of Sonoma. Come home. And he says, I can't do that. Then it was later, I think it was around noon, he calls me and he says, I'm going to go to Grandma's in Salt Lake City, Grandma Debbie. Then there were some calls from Debbie and all of this, a lot of calls going on. And they were going to get him they'd have a brand new travel trailer. They were going to set it up for him with sewage and electricity. And it was like he's going to have his own place, which he's desperately wanted. Debbie wanted to see her grandson. She was very happy. Her husband, Mike, was very happy. They were all excited. Everybody sounded really happy about it. But then he starts asking me paranoid stuff about locks. How does that trailer lock? I said, it locks just like a front door. You know, you can lock yourself in and lock other people out. That's how it locks. Mom, are you sure? And then I said, yes. Then he said, what have you not told me about Debbie and Mike? And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I've told you, what do you mean? You know everything about Debbie and Mike, you know them. And I said, come on, honey, don't start doing this. I guess it was a couple hours, or maybe it was an hour and a half. I get a call from Debbie and she says, Aidan tried to kidnap Mike.
As Aidan's paranoia begins to spiral out of control, an incident takes place where Aidan convinces his grandfather Mike to get in his truck and then turns around to take off in the opposite direction. As Aidan realizes Mike has a phone, he tries to take it from him unsuccessfully, slams on the brakes, and tells him to get out of the car. Aidan's mother gets news of this incident and immediately calls local law enforcement of Elko County to inform them that Aidan is in danger and missing. As the investigation turns over to law enforcement, missed opportunities and more questions begin to emerge. At 6:23 a.m. on April 27th, Aidan was seen on surveillance leaving a Motel 6 in Wells, Nevada. I was able to briefly speak to Dan, the attendant at the Motel 6, who checked Aidan in the night of the 26th.
It was dark and it was the right time of year, so it was between 6 and 7 o'clock. Yeah, it was not snowing or anything. It was just cold. I'm sure there was snow on the ground. Yeah, he just came up to the window and he was apprehensive about renting a room because he wasn't 21 years old. He didn't think I would rent a room to him. And I told him to relax. We'll get you in a room, buddy. You know, he was a really nice kid. Yeah, he was very mellow. He was very relaxed. He didn't have any issues that I could tell.
After departing the hotel, Aidan began to head south along US 93. Shortly after 8 a.m., Aidan stops his truck on the shoulder of US 93 and exits his vehicle. Just 50 minutes later at 8:50 a.m., a Nevada Highway Patrol officer finds Aidan's truck on the side of the highway with no one nearby. The officer issues a citation, locks Aidan's truck, and leaves. A witness interviewed by law enforcement states they saw Aidan near his truck carrying a guitar before the officer arrived. The witness also adds that when the officer did arrive, they saw Aidan crouched down behind some bushes as if he were hiding. After the officer leaves, the witness says they observed Aidan running away from his vehicle toward the Cherry Creek Mountains. It takes a full 24 hours for the two law enforcement agencies to convene and learn of their mistake. They realize that the abandoned vehicle belongs to Aidan Clune and they dispatch officers immediately to begin searching. After they arrive and take a look around, the officers state they were able to locate Aidan's tracks and it became apparent that Aidan was headed west. This only leaves more questions as the only things visible to the west of US 93 are mountain peaks. Why did Aidan all of a sudden abandon his vehicle and head up a mountain alone with no hiking or survival gear? With law enforcement only beginning to fan out 24 hours after Aidan disappeared, time was against rescuers. At the base of the mountain Aidan's tracks led to, officers found his abandoned guitar. And following the tracks further towards the mountain, searchers started to notice that Aidan was taking his shoes off before crossing roads and then putting them back on after he crossed. Searchers remain adamant that Aidan's tracks were the only ones to observe, implying he was alone. After uncovering these abnormalities, authorities concluded that Aidan was making very intentional efforts to not be found. As the tracks were followed for over 10 miles up the mountain, the snow and rain eventually eroded any signs left behind by Aidan. The official statement from authorities is that Aidan's tracks were lost in the Cherry Creek Mountains, several miles west of US 93, and that their search efforts had turned into recovery efforts. To this day, Aidan Clune is still missing. If you or anyone you know might have information leading to the discovery of Aidan's location, please use the contact information in the description to contact the Elko County Sheriff's Office.
So this was greatly put together, and I want to commend this this guy, and I hope he reaches out to me. I'm going to link his channel down below in the description, but I did search. There was many videos about Aidan Clune, but this one was, to me, the most well put together and concise, condensed version of what happened. So kudos to Unsolved Mysteries. Again, it's not linked right now in the description, but I will link it at the end of this show. So everyone go over, subscribe, tell him that you came from Crime Time with DutyRon, and tell him also that I'd love for him to reach out to me on DutyRon.com. What'd you think of that, Twila?
I think that was the best of the best with the information, and it was accurate because I was specifically told when I was gathering my information about Aidan, that's something that he did. He would take his guitar or his music instruments and he would go out somewhere and he would do his little music stuff that he liked to do. And that's what he liked to do to ease his mind and to relax himself. So I think that was a great what that man did right there. That was awesome.
Absolutely. I don't know the guy's name, but it's Unsolved Mysteries. If you could pull the link for that, Dawn Marie or one of my mods, just put it in the chat, and then I'm going to also link it down below in the description. I want to say thank you to John Donahue for the $10 super chat. He says, great show. Another super chat came in just now from Robert Royer. Thank you for the $1 super sticker, and a few others that I did miss during the course. I don't like to stop when I'm playing a little piece of media, and especially that piece of media was really good. Pat's Cat sends in $5 and says, my grandpa was missing for 30 minutes. I was absolutely frantic. We found him at a neighbor's. He walked inside their home up to the second floor. He has Alzheimer's. That's, we get a lot of that in New York. A lot of people that are, that aren't well and they go missing. Alzheimer's is one of them. They'll just get out and run, not run, but walk away. So I'm glad you found him and everything is good. JLL sends in a $10 super chat and says, love you, DutyRon and Twila. I don't know what I would do without both of you. Well, that's heartwarming. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me see if there was another one that I can get to. These all came in while we were live playing that show. Oh, there's another one. Madeline, $10 super chat. She said, just had a family member murdered. Still in shock. It's shocking. Evil like this exists.
Wow.
Madeline, we send you prayers, strength, and positive vibes. And I'm here for you. DutyRon.com. Just reach out to me if you need to talk, you need any help with anything. But we send you sincere condolences. That's horrible. Let me see if there's anything else that I missed, because I always like to get to the super chats. By the way, our good friend Pete Pranzo, Lieutenant Pete Pranzo, was featured in the New York Newsday today. I have the article. I'm going to feature that on the next live stream that I do. So I'm going to show you on another separate live stream about Pete Pranzo, Lieutenant Pete Pranzo, retired NYPD lieutenant. Kudos to you, boss. Great piece in Newsday, Long Island today. Twila, so I wanted to talk to you about Candace Cooley, Dylan Rounds. Where are you guys at? I know you guys had one of your professional drone pilots go out there and shoot a whole host of videos and footage, regular pictures, hundreds of images, and you run them in Locate with Gene Robinson. He's been on the show many times with us. Talk to us a little bit about what's going on in that case.
So I've had 2 different pilots go out and fly and do images to run through Locate. I ran the first images from the first pilot. He went out there. He was out there for all day. And then there was another pilot that I made contact with. I think Rocky was the one that had a play in it or something. Somebody got me in connection with this guy, and he was in with the sheriff's department out there. And he went out and flew, and he took 2,200 images, and we ran them through Locate for Gene tweaked it for black, and then we run it for red and blue, any color that we seen in any pictures that Dylan was wearing, whether it be red, blue, black, or whatever. We ran those images to see what we could find out there. And right now, I believe the FBI has it, and I was referred to another drone organization that handles more of like the big areas, because this guy went out and flew and got 2,200 images, but it's such a big area that they went out there and flew. He referred me to another guy, and I've got to make contact with him to go out there and fly with their drones, because that area has restrictions on flying. So there's steps that you have to go through in order to be able to fly, which is crazy, because you would think with the missing person, you wouldn't have to get permission. You'd just be able to go out there and do what you do. So with it being so much land and so many acres and this, that, and the other out there, we're still trying to get more drones out there.
They have the military over there too. They do military bombings close by. So that might have played into getting the permission to get into that airspace, because the military does operations over there. So that might have also been a little bit of an extra snafu that you had to dance through to get approval. Because I remember the heavy D guy, when he went out there with his helicopter, he had to get permission from the military to do that.
Yeah, it's a no-fly zone out there. Yeah, you're not supposed to fly out there at all.
Right.
Thank God we was granted permission, or we wouldn't have been able to do it.
Wow. Well, that's the kind of stuff that you guys do behind the scenes that nobody ever gets to hear about, and that's why I'm so glad to have you here. I want to say, Mystery Maven, thank you so much, Jess, for gifting 5 memberships to Crime Time with DutyRon. Just so you know, if you want to gift the membership, all you have to do is go to the super chat button, and where it says memberships and it says gifting, but you got to be on your laptop or desktop or a computer. You can't do it from your phone. But thank you to Jess, the Mystery Maven, for gifting memberships, 5 of them, to some of the great folks here on Crime Time with DutyRon. Miss Jan says, my best friend went missing over 20 years ago, never to be found. Her ex-husband was convicted without a body. That's a tough prosecution, but I'm glad that the ex-husband was found guilty by a jury of his peers. And I hope he rots in jail. I said the F word. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that with us. Twila, you do such a great job with all the cases, and I know you work in multiple. You're like a circus actor. You're juggling so many different cases. Every time I speak to you, it's usually, I can't usually get you right away. You're like, hey, can I call you back? I got to call somebody. Or I'm on the phone with the FBI and the CIA and Doris Day and Dolly Parton and who knows? You Southern Belles, you got so many connections, I tell you. But you do God's work, and you do it so well. If I was still active and I was a detective and you were a detective as well, I'd be honored to be working with you, because the things that you do are just second to none. So
I appreciate that. I appreciate it very, very much.
Keep doing what you're doing. I have one more little piece if you want to just stay. This is on Aidan. I'm trying to highlight him a little bit more. We spoke about Dylan so many times, and there's really nothing. There's nothing of substance in the Dylan Rounds case. I wish there was. I don't just go live just to go live and talk about stuff. When there's a significant update, I would like, you'll definitely be hearing from me, but I don't make it a point to regurgitate and go over the same stuff over and over again. But here's something from Aidan's case, and it was earlier on because there's nothing really that has gone on. But this is after they suspended the search, and I think they suspended the search because they felt that he was willingly out and not that it was nefarious, where someone took him or someone tried to kill him. They felt at this point that, you know, he was on the run because he wanted to be on the run, and whatever happened to him, if it was in a remote, desolate area, they're not going to be able to get to him. But I want to just play this little piece. It's short.
In developing news.
Hold on, and it's actually, again, this is not breaking or developing news. It was at the time, but this is, again, more coverage on Aidan Clune. And they look so similar, the two of them. I remember in the beginning when I first started covering it, I had posted a picture for Dylan Rounds, but it was the picture of Aidan Clune. And I got a lot of flack for it. People were like, DutyRon, what the hell are you doing? That's not Dylan Rounds, that's Aidan Clune. So Josh mixed it up because they look so similar. And when you search for them, both pictures come up. Anyways, let's play this piece.
News, the Elko County Sheriff's Office has suspended the search for a 19-year-old from Sonoma, California. According to the Sheriff's Office, Aidan Clune traveled from California to Utah on April 26th. They say he stayed the night in Wells, Nevada, and then checked out of the hotel the next morning. His pickup truck was found abandoned by a Nevada State Trooper on the morning of April 27th on Highway 93. A crews began the search for Aidan on the 28th. They say he didn't have any warrants or any other criminal activity that would have caused him to run from authorities. Police believe that Aidan was suffering from a mental episode that caused him to leave his vehicle and that he made very intentional efforts to not be found.
So that's just a short piece, but it does reiterate, and it does go back over what we're talking about here, that, you know, he had mental health issues, he was suffering, and you know, in what a manic moment or manic moments, he just got to the point where he was beyond return. His mom said that he blocked her, and, you know, just was not speaking. He was speaking erratically. He wasn't making sense. Let me just go back quickly to 2 seconds to a few of these super chats. I believe Rocky K9 says, "Thank you, DutyRon and Dr. Ed, for your personal involvement and impact, covering complicated topics and professional analysis. Always very interesting." Rocky K9, thank you for being a channel member, and thank you for that as well. The super chat, greatly appreciated. Northern Farm Girl says, "Twila, you go, girl. Keep up your positive attitude, and your heart is real. Your heart is real." Thank you. There you go, Twila. More for you.
Thank you.
So you're going to continue to work on these cases, and you're behind the scenes communicating with local. You said earlier on the same authority that was searching for Aidan is now searching for Dylan, and they got you because they saw you were talking. We were talking on the air, and you felt that it was because of the Dylan Rounds case that they pulled you into the Aidan Clune. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's on the Nevada side, and he actually reached out to our organization to have me contact to assist him with the Aidan case. And I immediately contacted him, and I'm telling you, his name is Lieutenant Fisher, and I'm telling you, he's one of the best that I have communicated with throughout this whole process with Dylan and Aidan. And I mean, he gave me exactly what I needed, and I'm telling you, he gave me a map, and I looked at it, and I was like, holy crap, this man knows what he's doing. And I could tell that he's put in a lot of work for Dylan and for Aidan, and he told me himself he wasn't going to give up.
Yeah. Lieutenant Fisher, I tip my cap to you, boss. Great job. You know, anytime that I can be of assistance to you, I'm here. I know that he doesn't need my assistance, but thank you, Lieutenant Fisher, for being a consummate professional. We need more people like that out there in law enforcement. Another super chat comes in from Robert Rower. He says, "A new subscriber to the channel. This is the real deal. Prayers that we can bring Dylan home." Thank you, guys. Robert, thank you for your support. Thank you for the kind words, and also for subscribing. We greatly appreciate you. Guys, again, I am a retired New York City police detective. I did over 20 years in the New York City Police Department. I responded to the World Trade Center in 1993 and also in 2001. lost quite a few of my good friends in law enforcement and also in the fire department. And my own cousin was killed in the World Trade Center. He was a local 3 electrician, 30 years young, and he was murdered that day by terrorists. So if you're not yet subscribed, consider subscribing to this channel. Hit that notification bell, hit the red subscribe button, and give it a thumbs up if you don't mind. That is always greatly appreciated. For those of you who are in here, we gifted out probably 100 free 30-day memberships over the course of just the last 2 weeks. I'll continue to do that. I gifted 5 of them tonight. Mystery Maven gifted 5. Thank you for that. I always pay it forward. And Twila, the little time that you know me, a little bit over a year now, you know that that's true. This is what we do here. We send our fundage that we take in and we repurpose it for where it's needed to go to help people. When family members from my subscribers and community pass, I send, support to them. I did the same thing for you and when grandma passed. Some people don't like flowers, don't like, stuff sent to the funeral home. So I send money straight to them so they could use it for food or to do whatever they have to do. That's just one aspect of what we do here. And
I'll tell you something that you did that was tremendous, and that was our fundraiser, which in return, because of you, Dave was able to buy 2 drones that we most definitely needed, without a doubt. And I've got one of them in my hand, and I'm so anxious. I know how to get it up. I just got to learn some more stuff about it. But because of you, we were able to get those drones.
And I got to redirect that, Twila, because of you all of the folks here.
Oh, yes, y'all.
That is not me, all wholeheartedly me. That is me with the vehicle, with in turn the users and the members and the subscribers and the community folks who sent in donations. So thank you to you guys, because you heard it right here. Twila, do you care to tell them again what their money went to?
Right. So DutyRon, out of the blue, decided he wanted to do a fundraiser for EquuSearch, and the funds that he raised, I think we were on that live for like 4 or 5 hours, 4.5 hours, something like that. And the funds from each of you went to EquuSearch, and Dave was able to buy 2 drones that basically just came out, that's some of the best equipment that you could possibly get to be able to fly and look for missing people. And he gave one, I believe, to one of our members in Kentucky, and then he put the other one in my hand. And DutyRon, I actually have pictures. My son's the one who taught me how to put it up in the air. I'll send you the pictures so you can put that up and show everybody that donated the quality of these pictures, because that drone, I don't think we would have been able to get that drone or both of them without the help and the support from the fundraiser that you did with all the members that you have on your channel. So we're very, very grateful for that. And it was so exciting to be able to do that.
That is awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. It's your money going to work, folks. So thank you to everybody who donated for the EquuSearch Midwest fundraiser. And we're going to do it again. We'll do it again in 2023, or definitely before the end of the year. We might do another one. I love to support good organizations that do things for humanity. Searching for the missing, there's no greater thing that you can do. When you become a law enforcement professional and you take that oath and you become a first responder, protect and serve. That's what's got to be near and dear to your heart. You don't go into the business to become rich. I'll tell you that right now. You don't do it to become rich and famous. You do it because you have it in your heart to help humanity. And that's what EquuSearch does. And that's what some of these great groups that are out there. I love the Class Kids Foundation. I love all the people who do God's work and search for the missing. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm here. I'm on board with you guys always. There's Tony D. I'm going to highlight him. Where did he go? There he is.
That's who Tony D is, the other one that was getting one of those drones in his hand. I talk to him all the time. That's my buddy right there. He's on our team in Kentucky. And let me tell you, he's good at what he does.
I wish that he would join us one time. I would love to.
We could bring him on sometime. I'll get him to come on with you.
All right. I'll send him a link next time we go live. I'd love to have Tony come on and look at his profile picture. It's the EquuSearch Midwest. There it is, Tony D.
And he actually recently just joined, and he tells me what can I do? He wants to put his money. So he took his own money out of his own pocket and went and bought a drone on his own. And then I was like, Dave, do you know that Tony D went and bought a drone on his own because he was going to get a dog? And I was like, no. Don't do the dog. We'll use the dogs, other teams that have the dogs, because those dogs, it takes a lot of money to put into the dogs to get them where they need to be. So he went out and got a drone. As a matter of fact, he sent me images that I really haven't got to run. I run some of them, but not all of them. And he actually went out and flew this drone for me to run images. I was like, go fly somewhere and hide some stuff so I can run the images and try to find them. So he went out there, he flew it, he hit some stuff in the woods and literally forgot that he hit it and had to go back a day or two later. But it was pretty cool because he's in Kentucky and I'm in Tennessee and we're hours away from each other. But he's like, anytime you got anything out there and you need my help, you just call me. So I can bring Tony D in onto your show as a foot searcher, and the crowd can get a feel of what the actual foot searchers do because Tony's good.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome. I would love to have him on. Tony, reach out to me or reach out to Twila, and then Twila, you can give him my phone number and just let him call me.
Okay.
I would love to have him on the show. I wanted to just go to the chat, if you don't mind. Anybody have any questions for Twila in regards to Dylan Rounds and Aidan Clune? These are the two cases that she's working close with the families. There are a lot of things that she can't ask, that she can't answer. Again, there's people in the chat. This is a funny one. I love when people do this. May I ask how much one of those drones cost? Stars for nights and lights. I mean, I don't know. These things aren't cheap. I'll tell you that right now. You get a good
most definitely not cheap, and there's multiple different ones. Gene's got some that cost thousands of dollars, but I can tell you that the one Dave sent me and put in my hands, I can tell you right now, it was over $1,000, and it's the coolest thing since sliced bread. I tell you.
Yeah, they are. They're good stuff, man. And I've seen some of the fixed wing drones that they used in searching for Brian Laundrie, which I felt was a waste of time and effort. But those fixed wing drones, I talked to Gene about them. Those things cost like $100,000 or more. It's like little airplanes with the wings on them, and they go out there and they do some unbelievable work, with the grid searching and things of that nature. But yeah, it's thousands of dollars. These drones are not cheap. They are expensive. So let's look at the chat. Alicia B, she's here and a great moderator of the channel. Northern Farm Girl is here. Gotta go, DutyRon, mods and family. You're doing such a fabulous things. We appreciate everything you do. Thank you, Northern Farm Girl, for everything, and thank you for being a channel member. Fibrofloozy is here. There's Jill, my good friend. Fibrofloozy, thank you for all you do. Greatly appreciate it. Pineapple, where is it? Oh, I love that screen name. And now it's gone. This chat is moving too fast. Pineapple Slushy. Do you think they'll be found? Twila, that's for you.
We can hope and pray, and as long as we continue to do what we do the best we can, we're going to do whatever we possibly can to help try to get them found. I feel like somebody can't go missing without at least one person knowing, and I feel with the authorities that's in there now and the FBI and the ones that's been on the case all along, I feel like Dylan and Aidan both will be found. When? We never know. We never know, but I feel like, yeah, they'll eventually be found.
We hope and pray for that. Amen. Amen to that. Robert asks me, hey, DutyRon, did they dump the cell tower? ? I would have to tell you that I know for a fact on Dylan Rounds, yes. And Aidan, I'm sure that they did the same thing. It's not difficult to do that. And also subpoenaing the phone records through T-Mobile, Verizon, or whatever the service is out there. That's part of Investigation 101. They're going to get cell tower pings. They're going to get all the subpoenas that they need from local judges to go and get this data. This electronic footprint is an important major role it plays in these missing cases and tracking, because as we know, our youngins, they don't go anywhere without their cell phones. So cell phones, all of that stuff is definitely on that checklist. It's immediate. It's Investigation 101. Joey Brooklyn is here. Pippadot is here. Yarn Barf is here. Linda and Eddie T, a new channel member. Who else is here? Hi, DutyRon and Twila. Thank you for all you do to find the missing and support their families. That's Mickey Diff. Thank you so much. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
We're on an hour, and I promised Twila 30 minutes, so she's going to send me a bill. I don't know what it's going to be for. DutyRon, stick to the timeline here. I appreciate you taking out the time to hang out here for an hour with Crime Time with DutyRon. I want to say thank you to everyone who has become a channel member. If you have not yet subscribed, maybe I'll ask Twila to ask you guys to please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Hit that notification bell and give it a thumbs up. Let's hear Twila say that.
Please subscribe to DutyRon and hit that notification bell, and that make sure. And another thing you got to do is you got to share his videos and tell your friends and family to come and join and like the videos, because DutyRon puts the best of the best information out there. He's not going to lead you in a wrong direction, and he tells you like it is. And if you want breaking news on stuff, believe me, this man's going to get it to you, and he's going to get it to you accurately. So subscribe, turn your notifications on, and share. Tell your friends, your family, tell everybody you know.
That was awesome, Twila. I just did that just out of nowhere. I just said, let me just put this on Twila and see how she does it. Excellent. Thank you, Twila. I love and respect you and your family and everybody that surrounds you. And I thank you for everything that you do for the missing and for this community. Will you come back again sometime soon, Dave? I wanted to have you and Dave on together, but I thought that this was even, this is great because it gives us a chance to just one-on-one do this. So will you come back again and join us with Dave, or maybe again back solo again?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, we love to get the information straight from people who are actually doing the job and being out there searching. It's an invaluable asset to the true crime community, because everybody keeps getting stuff fed to them, and sometimes that information that's fed to them brings them down like the rabbit holes that you don't want to go. Wiles Pony says, at DutyRon and at Twila EquuSearch, seeing your help to everyone makes me cry. Thank God. Wow, that is unbelievable. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, guys. All right, as I always like to end all of these live streams, and I say it because I mean it, God bless the world, God bless the United States of America, and God bless each and every one of us here in the chat, but especially all victims of crime and their families. There's so many of them out there. They need us now more than ever. So let's send them strength, prayers, and positive vibes. On behalf of Crime Time with DutyRon, Twila Sisco, EquuSearch Midwest, and the entire Crime Time with DutyRon community, I wish you guys a happy Sunday evening. And if it's Monday where you are, a happy Monday. I'm going for a procedure tomorrow. I'll be fine. I'll let you guys know how I do. But I'm going to be out under anesthesia for a little while, so I'll be off the grid for the day tomorrow. I'll see you guys on Tuesday, and we will return then. Ed Wallace is doing good, by the way. I just checked in with him. He's going to bed. He's not sick anymore. He's feeling better. He's in Africa, so but he's doing better. All right, guys. Good night from Twila and DutyRon. Twila, any final words?
Treat people the way you want to be treated, and always try to do a kind gesture. Smile. It could make somebody's day.
Excellent. Great words. Talk to you soon. Love you, Twila. Hang out for a minute before you go. I want to talk to you.
All right.
You guys. Peace.